Hey there, I'm Ashley, and this is New Day with Ashley. If you're looking for inspiration to make a difference and create lasting impact, then you're in the right place. Get ready to be encouraged by the stories of my guests who have taken risks, overcome challenges, and created opportunities. It's time to make the most of your new day. Happiness is contagious, and my guest today brings so much joy. It's evident from the moment you meet them. They're the kind of people that truly make an impact. Faith-filled risk takers Mike Hull and Stephen Abbott are pastors at True North Church. They believe in a greater vision for the church, and their mission is leading the way of impacting the community where we live, work, and play. Well, welcome, guys. Mike and Stephen.
Yeah.
It's so fun to have you guys here from True North Church.
Yeah.
And yeah, you guys are just full of so much energy.
Oh.
Always.
We have a good time.
I do love that I did not get the memo on the gray shirt. I really wish I would have.
It's a special day.
We don't even know how it happened.
But it's cute.
Thank
I
you,
really
thank
like
you.
it.
Yeah,
No.
That's what we were going for, you know.
But like, first off, tell me, like, okay, yes, Mike is a pastor, Stephen's a pastor, but who is Mike? Who is Stephen? Is that a loaded question?
No, it's good. Yeah.
I feel like I'm a Nacho Libre here.
Nacho!
Is it because of the white jeans?
Yes.
The white stretchy
They are
pants?
fantastic.
Stretchy pants, yes.
These aren't
Sometimes-
stretchy.
Amen.
I wish they were stretchy.
They're beautiful though. So, man, I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I'm a former college athlete. I'm a dude who wrestled with call to ministry for a long time and felt like there's a lot of good I could do in the world outside of the church. And the journey that I've been on with Jesus has shaped me to, I know what my calling is, and the tagline of our church is, we're faith-filled risk takers. And that has come to define myself and Stephen for sure, like our friendship, our relationship, and in all those things I just said, I'm friends with this dude sitting next to me for the last 15 years. And that's been one of the big foundations of what we built or are building. So,
Right.
Yeah. Who are you?
Yeah.
There, handsome.
Well, thank you.
Yes. Little Dapper Dan.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, I share some of the same characteristics. I'm a husband. Stephanie and I have been married for 23 years. And we have 4 kids.
Yeah.
So I'm also a father.
Yeah.
And both of those things are adventures of their own. There's a lot of things in that. And so, yeah, but I've been a pastor since I was about 31. So about 15 years total. Before I was paid as a pastor, I was doing pastoral things, sometimes without even knowing it. God was teaching me about how to build relationships and how to help people spiritually and a variety of things like that, even before I had really said yes to the call to ministry. And so I also wrestled with being a pastor. It was like the last thing on my list that I thought I would ever do, and so I had several other things that I had thought were going to be the right path for me, and God just kept tapping me on the shoulder and saying, hey, I want you to do this. And for a long while I resisted that, and then finally said yes, like, if you blaze the trail, I'll walk the path. And that meant moving across the country at that point. That meant a lot of things for me and Stephanie and our family, but it also like set a whole new trajectory for us as well. And it's been a pretty amazing adventure, traveling around the country, pastoring and just helping people wherever they're at on that journey with God. And so,
And you guys have kind of gotten to do some of that together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
A good part of it.
So 2009, my family moved from California to Denver, and I joined the staff at the church that Stephen was the young adult pastor, and I was the youth pastor. And we started doing mission trips together and trying to combine ministry. probably my favorite story. Okay, and you might have heard this one, but we took a mission trip to Costa Rica. Okay, and we took 68 kids and adults on that trip. Got down there, and I wasn't feeling good, and turns out that I needed an appendectomy. Right. And this guy was on the trip and took over and built a pole barn in the middle of the jungle.
We did.
That was amazing. Had to actually pour the concrete, mix the concrete in a wheelbarrow. I can't talk for some reason. and go build a 40 by 50 pad. It was incredible. And got back from having surgery, and we baptized 40 kids in the pool, and then got on a plane and came home. And it was wow. That was a
wild.
I saw the biggest spider I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
In Costa Rica. So, yeah.
Man. So those were bonding moments.
Yeah.
You know, like just really solidified our friendship, and we also did a master's together, and Kristen and I actually bought a house, 7 houses from Stephen and Steph, and we didn't have kids at the time. So the routine was get home from work, come down, help prepare dinner, get all the kiddos to bed. We would do homework. The girls would hang out and do.
I think you guys did video games.
Oh, Kristen and Stephanie.
Yes.
Yep. So our amazing wives who make us much better men.
Yes.
Man, we would be lost without them.
100%.
So true. So,
Yep.
but yeah, they would hang out and we would work on homework, and then at the end of the night we play a little Xbox.
Okay.
You know, just a little. You know. So yeah, that and True North Church, really the origins of what is now what we're doing was started in those conversations.
Absolutely.
And, part of our story actually is after Denver, I went and led a church and Stephen went and led a church. And we both got to a point, Stephen actually had a heart attack. I had chronic pneumonia and had shingles on my face. And my son was about to be born. And we said, if this is what doing ministry apart is, or doing it on our own, that's not what God called us to. And to do it as a team, to have each other's backs, and then be able to build a culture that's healthy, it's what we want.
Passion.
Yeah, we want to give our lives to that.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I'm just affirming.
Yeah.
That's absolutely the separation was. There's some people that are built for kind of some of those lone missions, those solo kinds of endeavors. And we're built for family.
Yeah,
that's how
for community.
100%.
Yeah, right.
Totally.
Community. And we believe most people in the world, if not everybody, needs
for sure.
other people in their lives, for sure. And so we want to build a community that's healthy on a lot of levels. We don't just want to be speaking purely to what people might think of as spiritual or theological or doctrine or those kind of things. We want the whole person to be well.
Yeah.
And so we talk a lot about physical health, emotional health, spiritual health, financial health, and a variety of those things. Not only like on Sundays when you would hear a message or those kind of things, but in different meetings that we have or different ministries that we're endeavoring to build, like that's all of those pieces are really valuable because
you've
made
brought
us whole people.
counseling in,
Yeah.
which is like a huge need. I think there's like waiting lists across the area.
Yep.
Yeah, right off the bat, we knew counseling was one of the first pieces that we wanted to bring into play. This mental health is such a serious issue.
It's huge
across the board in our country and around the world for sure. And so we wanted to be able to address some of those needs. So
here I see these two guys wearing matching shirts, and they're venturing across, and here they are in Fargo.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
All jokes aside.
Yeah.
But faith-filled risk takers, like that really resonates of like, so both of you, you're, you could do, go far, but go further together.
Yeah.
And then taking this risk and True North Church was born.
Right. Yep.
And I mean, there's more to it, even, I know more of the story and just how so many things this is incredible.
Yep.
But what was that? September was the launch of 2021.
Yeah.
So still a baby church.
Oh, 100%.
40 weeks old.
Yeah.
40 weeks old.
Yeah.
And, across the country, we see like a decline in church attendance.
Yeah.
And here, this is like not the case. And I feel like even after COVID, like people returning are like, oh, I can watch online.
Right. Right. Our culture has shifted.
And yeah,
Yep.
that's convenient now.
Yep.
But True North Church is something different. So tell us a little bit like what's so different? What's the secret sauce?
You know, I think we've been working on, we call it the elevator pitch, right? So,
Okay. I'm ready.
Right.
No.
Let's go. Let's go. You know, I think our 3 priorities are, we want to see people's lives in Fargo Moorhead radically change for the better, right? We believe that happens through growing a deep relationship with Jesus, by growing roots in a community and having people around you to support you on the journey. And you kind of reference it, but the old African proverb is, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with others. And we believe that God is...
Sounds way better when you say it.
No. No, but like God has called us to go together. Like that's, I mean, it's so clear. And in the book of Ephesians, like that's exactly his plan and his intent, is that we are to be quick at mending fences. We're to watch our brothers and sisters, make sure they don't wander off paths they aren't supposed to go down. And so we have invested in that from the very beginning. Before we ever started a church service, we started discipleship meetings. And, you know, that it's a big commitment. The thing that we're asking people to join right now, it takes 6 months. Nobody does that. Like, hey, you want to read your Bible and 5 times a week and show up for 90 minutes and journal? And like, we've now seen 250 people go through that, which is insane. Awesome. Like, so good. And then kind of the third component is we believe God's called us to be generous. And so we're trying to be creative and find ways that we can become self-sustaining, so that tithe comes into the church and everything that's given doesn't go to pay us, doesn't go to pay for a building, doesn't, you know, whatever, it goes back into our community. And God's giving us partnerships and building the vision and opening the doors. And if we accomplish that, you know, when we're done 25 years from now, we hand that off to a next generation, a debt-free church that's given away $60-70 million to our community and launched other churches. Man, like, we did something.
That'd be awesome.
You know, and I think people, even with COVID, people are so hungry to be seen as a person, right? And a screen is fine, but we say it like this, like relationship wins the day. And if you invest in people and you fight for people, you're there on their worst day and you get to celebrate on their best day. Like, oh, you actually care about me, not my resources, not, you know, my platform. Like, no, you are created in the image of the living God and you have immense value. And whether you accomplish great things or, you know, in the world's view, small things, we're here and we want to do life together. We want to journey with you. And so that's actually, when we were going through our masters, there's an incredible book called Life Together. And it was written by Dietrich Bonhoeffer, and he was leading a seminary in the forest in Germany during World War II, training pastors, you know, and was in complete opposition to the German Empire and to the Reich. And yet he wrote this incredible book. Like, this is what it means to have authentic community. And that was a huge thing for me. I remember talking about that. Like, dude, what if we built a church that was based in relationship? You know, we don't just see each other on Sundays. We spend the majority of our time together, and we invite others to join us on that. And so that was a really long answer.
No, it's good. Yeah.
But I would say that's one of the things that has set us apart, and that's why we're growing. You know, we just sat down and did the numbers, and we launched in September. We were averaging about 650 people. And again, numbers are numbers are numbers. Those are 650 individual people that matter, right?
Right.
As of post-Easter, we're averaging about 950 to 1,000 people every weekend.
Wow.
And to see, you know, that's God's grace. And also I think people are buying into this vision of like, I need people, you know, I don't want to live in isolation. Because that's a terrible way to live.
Right.
And
we experienced a lot of that through COVID.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think we saw the value of an online experience in COVID. Like that was underdeveloped particularly in the church.
In
Right.
the church.
Yeah.
That was an underdeveloped vehicle for communicating and connecting, and so there was a lot of churches that worked on that whole side of things because it was underdeveloped.
Yeah.
On this side of it, the farther we get away from sort of that pandemic kind of mindset, we recognize that there are limitations to our connectivity online as well. And so, you may be able to catch a service online, or if you're on vacation or you're on a business trip or this, that, or the other, and that's a really great way to stay in touch.
Absolutely.
But long-term, like face-to-face, person-to-person relationship really matters.
Yeah,
It's
there's
what
no
people
substitute.
really crave.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you just you can't substitute that. And so it's really powerful. I think it's more meaningful to people, even though they're probably thinking about it just on a subconscious level. It's more meaningful for people to actually be together physically, like in that way, on a Sunday or in a small group or over coffee or any number of ways that we gather together. It's even more valuable to people now that we've had an experience of being separated from one another, like forced
100%.
separation, you know? And so I remember just even all of us have experienced like family gatherings that were put on pause, or losses that we experienced that we couldn't be together with each other in, that there's a loneliness that set in during that time that people are coming out of and are still in that process of kind of re-engaging on some levels.
Right.
But the hunger is so there that relationship wins the day all the time. And like that's, I don't know that we're like charting new territory in that. I think we're reminding our people or the world around us that how valuable relationship actually is.
Yep.
It's not like it's something brand new, but it's something that kind of it gets lost very easily. It gets taken for granted really easily. And so we want to call people back to family as we see a variety of cultural movements destroy what family looks like or what it means, and try to redefine in so many various ways. Like it's so important for us to have a good, solid understanding of what family really means. And we think like Jesus really teaches us about that. And you look at many Christian movements, or even like the Jewish community prior to Jesus, like Old Testament kind of stuff. There's a variety of pieces that really teach us about what good, authentic community and relationship can really look like. If we'll pay attention, and if we'll practice, and if we'll give each other grace and love each other, like through all of that, through all the stumbles and the kind of missteps, or the ways that we can kind of hurt each other or step on each other's toes. If we can love each other through those things, we can all learn and grow together in a way that really honors God, but also is true to how God made us.
That's right.
And that's what we're all about, I think.
And I think like Fargo is such a neat community too, of like it's a pretty close knit or just encouraging community too. So
it really resonates with that heart of this area for sure.
And you guys like bringing something different, and people are noticing that and wanting to be a part of that. To be able to be a part of that movement.
I think one of the things too, he even mentioned it on Easter. It's one of my favorite words that he's ever spoken in front of people. It's that church should be fun. Like we just don't think like it should just be drudgery or boring.
Right.
Like, it's exciting to be in relationship with Jesus, the ruler of the universe, the guy that made all this.
Right.
Like, it's exciting to be in relationship with him, and then be able to have
fun,
growing good relationships with one another. Yeah, we could totally
and be
have a
silly.
good time.
I mean, like, you got any good dad jokes today?
Man. I mean, I haven't gotten there. You know, the one I told on Sunday, I felt like was a pretty solid one. You know, how do you get the attention of a farm girl?
How do you get the attention of a farm girl?
A tractor. You know, I have had some dad jokes that have bombed so bad. I mean, like, wow.
We test them out ahead of time.
Right.
We go through at least half a dozen to 10 before we're like,
You're like,
okay,
no,
Mike.
And I must have a terrible sense of humor because I think they're hilarious.
All
and
of
I'm
them.
like, that no,
Nope, can't do that one.
like,
So
come on.
do you know when a joke becomes a dad joke?
No.
When it becomes a parent.
Come on.
Just for you guys. My dad sent me that one yesterday.
That is so good. Oh.
Is
That's
that a
awesome.
mom joke?
I
now? No, I don't know.
I think so. That's amazing.
But okay, so 40 weeks old, True North Church.
Yeah.
Challenges.
Mm,
Have there been some challenges?
man.
So I mean, at first it was a
A
risk.
couple.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
So any challenges that you can speak to?
yeah.
We don't have to talk about all of them. No.
No. Yeah.
The very first one that comes to my mind is location.
Yeah.
Like
Location,
we have consistently wrestled
Yep.
with where to hold services, where to have small groups, how to do youth ministry, and just places to house all of those things.
Yeah.
And God has been super faithful in helping us find those kind of nooks and crannies in different places to be able to host those things. But
Yep.
it has been a challenge for us to,
Yep.
on different occasions, find.
Because did you know when you
Locations.
started you're going to have 1,000 people?
No idea. No idea. Like, oh man.
So it's, I can only think of like you're planning a wedding and you
Right.
think like, I don't know, are we going to have 50 people? Or are we going to
Yeah.
have 500 people?
100%.
That's a totally different
Yes.
venue.
It is a little
whole
different.
thing. Yep, exactly.
I think being set up and tear down. So, I mean, I pick up Stephen every Sunday morning between 5:45 and 6, and we go get a 26-foot trailer that's full of everything. And Mark, our worship pastor, is pulling another trailer with all the speakers and drums. And, we have a whole community of people. I mean, it takes 70 to 80 people every Sunday to get all those things set up, have all the volunteers in place. I mean, that's a challenge.
Especially in the wintertime.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yes, that's real.
Oh, like there were so many mornings we're standing out there trying to hook the trailer up just free, like, oh, this is the worst. What are we doing? Our first truck was diesel and we had to tow it 13 times this last winter because the fuel kept gelling up, and 2 times on Sundays the truck wouldn't start. And
That's great.
it was so good. Like these are the catalytic moments that we're like, I guess we're in this, and I think with our growth, with any new church, like the funding side is always a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
God was super generous and really helped us have an incredible base of people that believed in the dream. And, but yeah, as we continue to grow and scale, like we've got to hire more people. And, because we're a non-traditional church, oftentimes we're calling people out of a career to come join us.
Sure.
And so there's a whole different, where we kind of are like what you would consider like classically trained professional pastors, like that's not true of most of our team.
Mm-hmm.
And which is actually beautiful.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love, and I'm so thankful because it's, when we look at what Jesus did, he called people out of non-traditional, they were fishermen, they were not, the religiously trained people. They were very normal, everyday people that became faith-filled risk takers, and said, man, I want to be in because what this dude is doing is changing the world. And we get to be a little representation of that. We believe that God's called us to change Fargo, Moorhead, and so.
And you guys are doing so.
Well,
You are.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
yeah.
I gotta just brag on our team because like any of the challenges that we have faced, our team has been so solid.
Yeah.
Man, so many weeks, so many bases that get covered, or like challenges that pop up, whether they're with different issues in people's lives, or they are just fundamental things like the internet's broken today.
Right.
The interwebs aren't working for us. Like a million things like on more of the task or technical side and more of the people side that our team just rises to the challenge all the time. They're such good people.
Yeah.
We love them so much, man. It's just such a gift to be able to work with others in this, like to where it's not just the two of us doing this. Like
it wouldn't be working.
It totally would not. We would have like 5 people.
Yep.
But our team just multiplies the impact that any of us are able to have on our own. And it's special. Like
it is.
I've never been part of a team that has such cohesion and a real love in their hearts for one another. It's really powerful.
It is.
Well, I think you guys have set the stage for that too, to attract those people and that culture.
Yeah.
So give yourself a little more credit of
Well.
like, if it's just us two.
Yeah.
No, you know,
Yeah.
but I think that is like,
Yeah, we
you
want
know,
people to be loved.
you know, you wear your hearts on your sleeve. Like, I know who you are,
Yeah.
you know, when you walk in this room or, you know, when you just look at your faces, you know, you just have this presence about you too. And so like you are where you are supposed to be, doing the things you guys are supposed to be doing.
Absolutely.
And those people are coming along.
Yeah. And what a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So much grace in that.
yeah.
So what is your like favorite part of your job? I don't know if you is it wearing the shoes on Sunday?
100%. That.
You guys got good shoe collections.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The nicest pastor's shoes I've ever seen.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, you know, so just a quick story. My mom and dad were awesome growing up, but we didn't have money to buy. You know, I got one pair of shoes until I was older. Once I started playing sports, but I got one pair of shoes for the year. And when I got old enough to afford my own, I started building a little bit of a collection. And, you know, I love shoes. Stephen always has some super awesome swag shoes that you're rocking. And
You're kind of a Jordans guy.
I am a Jordans guy.
Kind of a Vans guy.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just kind of.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works.
Yep.
But
So thanks for wearing the green for my green shirt.
I mean,
yeah.
Maybe that's the memo I
That-
got.
Color coordination. It's all
Got it.
good.
nailed it. But favorite part of my job, 2 weeks ago, I got to sit in a service, and it was the first whole service I'd sat through, and I got to listen to Stephen preach. And we just got done sitting with Mark, and Mark's going to be preaching here upcoming. And to get to see the dream be expressed through different people is like, that's the favorite part.
Awesome.
To get a, you know, and even our interactions, you know, as we dream together about how we can utilize some of everybody's giftings, because God has created specific plans for every purpose. That's Ephesians 2:10. Before the foundation of the earth, God created good things for you to do. And I believe that about everyone. And how do we take that calling that God's put in your life, in my life, in your life, and allow that to flourish so that other people find hope? And when we get to do that, like I'm for that all day, every day, you know, like, dang, what an honor to get a fight for people that they understand how valuable and how amazing they are. And so that's it. And I think I'll add this. This is the one caveat. We get to be us.
Right.
And that is a gift in and of itself that I don't know I can even fully express yet, but it is.
I think everybody knows what it's like to be in a job where you kind of don't quite fit, or you're pushed into a certain mold, or you have
Right.
some pressures with the culture of the company that you work for, or things like that. And this is a place where we get to define the culture instead of be
Right.
defined by the variety of things that are going on around us. And so, yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
So
When I think other people feel free to be themselves also.
sure.
So the
Yeah,
culture
we
there
sure
too
hope
of
so. Yeah.
a culture of you're welcome.
Yeah. Yes.
You know.
Yep.
How about
Man.
you? You have a favorite
I
party?
love getting the opportunity to sit down with people one-on-one, or with as a couple, or that just a small group of folks, and to be able to just talk through what God is doing in their life, and kind of approach, like, join them wherever they are, and just help them take whatever that next step is, whatever it looks like, or ask the right question, or help like reframe a situation, or just kind of sit with them in the grief if that's where they're at, or just to be with a group of people, or a family, or an individual like that is super special to me. I love that. I've got energy for that, like, all day long.
Yep.
And so, I get to do that really regularly.
Awesome.
And this work that we're doing, it's such an honor to be able to sit in those places with people, because not everybody gets to do that all the time with folks. They may do it once in a while, or here or there, as God invites them to impact the world where they live, work, and play, as we
Yeah.
say. But but I get to do that all the time, or like as part of the
Right.
work that I'm doing fully in the world. And that is so special to me. It's a real honor to be able to join families like that.
Awesome.
So, yep.
Awesome. So good.
Mm.
So, people that, you guys are clearly making a difference.
Mm.
You're making an impact in a great way. And others that maybe want to do something. They want to get involved. They want to make a difference in the community, make an impact. What would be like a piece of advice? Whether it's, them starting a company, starting a church.
Sure. I think we are so quick to give up on our dreams. And
I knew you were going to go there.
yeah, it's just
You could probably finish a sentence.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I just think, gosh, God has uniquely wired every one of us to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And man, sometime the timeline doesn't look like what we anticipate it to look like, right? It might take 20
Right.
years. And frankly, if you're going to build something sustainable, oftentimes you have to have the maturity to carry the weight of the thing that God wants to give you. And that means you're going to have to grow up, right? And so I think if people have a dream, they need to work on their own character. They need to spend time and then put the dream down on paper, right? Just write it down and then start sharing it. Start inviting people into it and then fight for the dream. Don't give up. I believe there are more people for you than there are against you, but it is the loudest voices oftentimes are the people that are going to be dissenting, right? They're going to say, "Oh, that's terrible. That's dumb." Man, go after it.
Mm-hmm.
And you might fail a couple times, but I'm trying to remember who said the quote. Anyway, the more failure you have, as long as you can stand on top of it, it's only going to build you and give you the opportunity to keep growing. And you don't know until you take the risk.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You got to lean out over the edge. And we always talk about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And what's the bridge called?
Or Last Crusade.
The Last Crusade. Sorry. Yeah, not the
The leap from the lion's head.
There you go.
Yeah, where he just takes the big step.
Yep.
and-
Temple of Doom is Kalima.
Yeah.
That's totally different. Sorry. Sorry. This is way off on that one. But it is it's that. Are we going to lean out? Are we going to go for it? Or we have to have a plan. We have to, golly, we've found so many helpful tools in this last season, like traction and using, the EOS system and setting tangible goals and having accountability. All those things are super important. But if you can get your culture right and you can get the dream quickly translatable to other people and they can buy in, now we're going, right? And that's what I would encourage people to do.
Yeah.
So, and don't be afraid to be passionate, right?
Yeah. Passion's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep.
How about you, Stephen? Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I'd say as you were talking, particularly because you and I are pretty different people on some levels, and so Mike is more of the dreamer. He's like, if we were on a cattle drive, Mike would be the guy scouting in front, and he'd be like, "Over here, guys, over here." He'd be kind of directing people that way. And I'd be the guy that's more like, "Hey, there's a cow giving birth over here, so I'm going to be the one that's going to help
take
deliver
care of
the
it."
baby.
Yeah.
I'll join you in a minute. We'll make sure that these guys don't get lost along the way. And so
So kind of like the kite and the string.
Totally.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So
whoa!
So not everybody has to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Although we need really good Christian entrepreneurs in the world,
Right.
who are able to stick their neck out, so to speak, or take that risk or jump when God asks them to. That's so valuable. And I think there's a lot of people that connect with Mike because he is that kind of person. He's entrepreneurial in his mindset. And then there's others who need to join somebody's mission.
Yeah.
They need to be sort of like the shaft behind the spearhead, whereas Mike is more of that spearhead. There are a bunch of us that have lined up behind him to be the shaft that really brings the power
Yeah.
to the piercing that he would
Sure.
do in the world, you know? And so like, it takes a whole team. God didn't create just one type of person.
No.
Right.
And so you have to really like know yourself well. The
Mhm.
more you can investigate the ways God's made you, and particularly the broken pieces of your story, because we've heard lots of times from various authors, and we've said this multiple times, like your pain can become your platform.
Yeah.
That's not invented by us. That was
No,
somebody else that said
no.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there are many times when the brokenness that you've experienced in the world can become a vehicle
Right.
for
To bring
the good
restoration.
thing that God
Yeah.
wants to do through you,
Mhm.
you know? And so it's, a lot of times it's like, where's the pain? And
Yeah.
that's the place to go
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the way forward. And
Yeah.
that can be hard.
It
But
can.
you have to, you don't necessarily want to make that a solo mission. Like
Mm-mm.
that's something you have to invite, as uncomfortable as it is, invite other people into.
Yeah.
But not everybody
Yeah.
needs to be cut from that same mold. But everybody needs to take a risk in the way that God's designed them
Yeah.
to take that risk.
Yeah. That's good.
So
That's really good.
to be unafraid to take the next step that you should take really means that you know God and you know yourself really well, so that you
Mhm.
understand what that good work is that he has designed you for.
Awesome. You guys are so good.
You're so good. We're so honored to be hanging with
I just
you.
love it.
Yeah.
I mean, just it's so encouraging and inspiring, the story, and
Thank you.
cool to see it unfold.
It's
And
fun.
okay, so
Thank
Thank you
you.
for
nice
being part of it.
So,
Thank you.
It's so good.
thank you guys for being here, joining me
bet.
for New Day
Oh,
with Ashley.
we are honored.
Absolutely.
I'm
So
glad you
fun.
guys coordinated. You know,
Yeah.
that just like warms my heart. No, but yeah, I just appreciate everything you guys have shared and
Thank you.
the people that you are.
Well,
So thank you so much.
thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. And thanks for inviting us.
Yeah.
And thank you for the way that you bring light. Ashley, you are always a gift to people. So thank you.
Wow, what a great episode. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always so inspiring sharing these stories. Remember to like and subscribe below to the YouTube channel to stay caught up with new episodes of New Day with Ashley. And make sure to follow New Day with Ashley and KFGO on all social medias. The links are in the description. I'll see you in the next episode.